So the other day we worked on finding b and we worked on finding m, and today we're going to bring all that together and we're going to write the equation of our line using the slope-intercept form. So that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So I have to be able to find b and m, and then I can plug this all in and I have my equation. So, you can make little tables for yourself or whatever. B. If you recall, b is your y-intercept. It's where you're crossing that y-axis. So you just go to the axis, and that's at 4. There you go. I've already got my b part of this equation. So the first step you want to do, I guess you could do it in either order, but I like to start with b. The next thing I want to do is find my m. Slope, I'm going to do it both ways that I showed you. I'm going to start with graphically with this one, and then I'll do number 2, and I'll do it using that slope form. So again, you can do your slope either way. It just depends on what you like better. So I'm going to come in here. When you're looking for a point, you see here, that's not a good point because that's not on my line. I want to be where my graph grid is crossing that blue line perfectly. Again, here you've got some falling out, but if you look right here, that's another good point. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that point. Draw with touch. Hopefully it lets me. Alright, so I'm going to come right here. So I have my 2 points here. And this one, I can draw a little better. There we go. Now this is where you can use your triangle. It doesn't really matter which triangle you do, if you do it above or below. I'm going to go below, and I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go over. Okay? Then I'm going to count. I go down 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 down. Since it is downward, that's where you know you have a negative, okay? So since I moved from higher to lower, I went down. And then I count my other way. I go 1, 2. So now I should have a 2, okay? When you do slope, you're looking for your rise over your run. Rise is how far you go up or down. So if I look over here, I found that's that -3. Oh. Switch it back to writing real fast. So -3 should go on top because that's my rise for this equation. Over my run is my x value, so that's that 2. Now I have both my b and my slope, and guess what? Now it's just a matter of writing this equation. So y equals, I cannot simplify the slope at all. -3 divided by 2 will give me a decimal. You don't want decimal answers, so we'll just leave this one as a fraction. If it was like -4 divided by 2, then I could simplify, and you'd want to simplify. So it's y equals, you put in your slope, and then you put in your x. And that will be plus 4. Okay? And I'm done. That's writing an equation of a line from a graph. I'm going to do the next problem. Do the next problem, and then I'm going to let you guys get some more practice with this. So in this equation, I want to check it out, and I'm trying to figure out my different parts. So the first thing I need is, well, what is my b? b equals, if I look right there, that's my b. That's 0. It's nice and simple. Okay? Now I have to find another good point, and this is where things get tricky, and this is where some of you were messing up the other day. You see, we've got hangover, that clear section, I don't want it. This looks really close right there, right? But you see, there's just a little edge of a triangle hanging out, so I don't want that point either. Same thing down here. Same thing up here, there. We've got this hangover. It doesn't look like I have another good point till I get to the very end of my line. So you really got to be careful about where your lines are. Come on. Okay. So those are my 2 points. This right now is a point 0, 0. And then this would be the point, x is 3. X is 3. 1, 2, 3. And then -5. So 3, -5. If I want to find slope the other way, and again, remember, you can choose the way that you prefer. That equation for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? And you're going to plug in your points. So I'll make this x1, y1, x2, y2. Again, some of you have asked, it doesn't matter your order as long as you're just consistent. So I'm going to plug in my y2. That is -5 minus 0 over my x2, which is 3 minus 0. This is a pretty easy one to simplify. -5 over 3. This is another example. Obviously 3 does not divide into 5, so I can't do anything else with this. I would just leave my slope in this form. And this would give me the equation y equals, I put in that slope, the 5 over 3, and I put in my b. My b would be plus 0. If this was a problem on something like Delta Math, you just would not include that plus 0. It doesn't really actually add anything, because obviously if you add $0 to your account, nothing happens. Oops, I erased my x as well. So I need to get it back to a pen. So anytime you have 0 at the end, you don't need to write it. 0 is not doing us too much good at the end of our equation. Come on. So I'd have y equals -5 over 3. That would be how I put something in something like Delta Math. The other thing, just again, if your issue is not knowing when something is a negative slope, look at the line. Starting up here, it goes down, okay? So you see this fall from the top to the bottom. If I look here, I have the top, and I go down. So again, both of these slopes are moving in a negative direction. They're falling. Here, I start low and I go up. So that would mean whatever I get for this problem in number 3 should be positive. All right. I hope this helps you guys, and now it's your turn to try some problems.